Hey YouTube fam, it has been entirely too long since I have been on here. If you have seen my most recent videos, I launched a membership site, and for the month of April I led a challenge and I uploaded and recorded a video every single day for the entire month. Those videos are living there, so those of you who have been reaching out and messaging me and asking me where I am, that's where I've been, and you can join at any point and access not only all of those videos that I recorded and uploaded in April, but also now 3 times a week from now onward. Yoga classes with me, and then also 2 meditations a week. So it's a really exciting space. I am unbelievably excited and overwhelmed and grateful for the response and how many people, how many of you guys have joined into the Kula, and it just keeps growing every single day, which is just totally unreal. In the meantime, or I should say now that we've kind of moved out of that month of daily uploads, I have a little bit more space to be here again. My uploads to YouTube, again, moving forward, are going to be 30 minutes, while the uploads in the Kula are mostly 60 minutes, although there's some 30 and 45-minute classes there too, and then also some pose breakdowns and workshops and live classes and all of the fun things. Let's go ahead and move into today's practice, which is going to be a 30-ish minute, super fun, funky, playful vinyasa. I am so excited about today's sequence. I think it's going to be a really fun one. So join me down into a child's pose. Landing in your child's pose with knees wide, big toes together, hips sink back on top of the heels, and you're walking the arms out long in front of you. Taking these first moments to settle in, we are going to move a lot, and we're going to find movement pretty quickly in today's practice. But taking just maybe 5 cycles of breath here to settle in, to step out of whatever's going on off of your mat in your life, and to carve out this next half an hour or so of movement that is entirely for you, entirely for your heart, your mind space, your mental clarity, your physical body, the health of this mind-body unit that is you. Maybe you take a deep in-breath through the nose and even pause at the top and hold it. And then an open mouth exhale right back out. Open mouth exhales is a really beautiful opportunity to let something move through. Go ahead and walk the fingertips even a little bit longer towards the top of the mat. Send the hips even a little bit closer to the heels so that you're starting to get that length down the side bodies. On your next exhale, we're going to round up in a tabletop position until wrists land under the shoulders. Walk the knees under the hips. Active round like you're trying to press the back of the heart up towards the sky. Tuck the tailbone down, pull the chin in towards the chest. And then keep this rounding as you pull the heart back towards the top of the thighs. Lift the knees to a hover above the floor. Press the floor away from you so you're staying lifted up out of the shoulders, still rounding actively through the back body. So this is an active shape. Ground into finger pads and knuckle pads. We're going to straighten through the legs, bend into the elbows, and scoop all the way through into an up dog, but stay on the toes if you can. If that's too much for the low back, you can drop the knees down, or you can untuck the toes, roll the shoulders onto the back body. Think of pulling the heart through. And then on your exhale, glutes are engaged. We're just going to roll up and back, find your downward facing dog. Sending heels towards the floor, pulling heart towards the thighs, drop the head. On your exhale, 1 vertebrae at a time. See if you can ripple it forward. Find your high plank. Keep rounding through the back body as you drop the knees to the floor. Again, back of the heart is trying to press up into the sky. On your exhale, pull the heart towards the thighs. Hover the knees an inch above the floor. Press the floor away with the hands. And then bend into the elbows as you straighten out the legs and pull all the way through, finding this up dog shape. Wrists under shoulders. You're tucked under the toes if that's all right for the low back. And then on your exhale, engage into the glutes. Roll the hips up and back. downward facing. We're gonna do that one more time. Modify as you need. That goes for now and always in this practice. On your exhale, one vertebrae at a time, ripple forward, roll it up the spine, landing in your high plank. Press the floor away. As you drop the knees underneath the hips, you're on an exhale, gonna round through the back body. Back of the heart presses up towards sky. Pull the heart back to the tops of the thighs. Let the knees lift off the floor to a hover. Press floor away with the hands and then slight bend into the elbows as you straighten out the legs. Pull all the way through. Find this up dog shape on the toes. Glutes are strong. On your exhale, roll the hips up and back. Downward facing. Take a walk to the top of the mat until you've landed in your forward fold. Feet hip width distance apart. Staying folded over here, clasp all 10 fingers to interlace and then roll out the wrists. Drop the weight of the head. You might even kind of open and close the mouth here to roll out the jaw. Switch direction of the circles with the wrists and maybe with the jaw. And then releasing the hands down. On your exhale, walk both hands over to the right, straightening out through the right leg, maybe a soft bend into the left knee. Just a moment here to meet the shape, and then in breath to come back through center. Exhale to the other side. Slight bend into the right knee. Left leg is straight. In breath to come back through center, one vertebrae at a time. Let's roll it up. Articulating each vertebrae in the spine until we land all the way to standing. Sweep the arms up overhead. Bring palms all the way to touch. Lift up and out of the waist. Engage into the glutes. And then on your exhale, soft opening of the heart. Baby back bend here. Only go as far as feels supported in the low spine. In breath to release the back bend. On your exhale, dive forward. Forward fold. Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen spine, crown of the head is long. On your exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, find your high plank, wrists underneath the shoulders. And this time we're just gonna hold here for a couple cycles of breath. Take a little shift forward and back, maybe take some circles, rolling out the wrists in one direction, and then rolling out the wrists in the other direction. And find your way back through neutral. On your exhale, drop the knees to the floor. Shift to the fingertips this time as you round through the back body. Tuck tailbone down, pull the chin in, back of the heart presses up. And then drop the palms back. Lift the knees an inch above the floor as you pull the heart back towards the thighs. And then this time on your exhale, just shift forward, find your high plank, wrists under shoulders. In breath to pull back to the hover, heart to the thighs, hips to the heels. Exhale, forward, high plank. Couple more. In breath, pull back. Fill the lungs, and then on your exhale, let something move through, shift forward. Last one. Pull the heart back, pull the hips back. Hovering an inch above the floor, and then on your exhale, we're gonna roll forward through our high plank. Drop the hips down, stay tucked onto the toes, engage into the glutes, heart pulls through. With your exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing. We're gonna pick up our pace as usual, moving through a couple rounds of Sun A, knowing that you should connect movement to your breath even if you're not exactly with my cues or my rhythm or my pace. It is all good. On your exhale, step, walk, hop, float, or play. Land to the top of the mat, find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen, crown of the head extends, long. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale to rise, come all the way through standing, palms come to touch, maybe a little back bend, open up the heart. And then exhale, dive all the way down, find your forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen, spine. Exhale, fold and release. Plant the hands, step or hop or play. Maybe you had your crow pose or an inversion. Making your way through some sort of vinyasa or just straight back to a down dog. So the vinyasas are optional. They are a starting point. We're gonna take 2 more Sun A's just like that. Exhale, feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. With your breath, fill the lungs, half lift. Exhale, fold and release, let upper body waterfall forward. In breath, rise, come through standing. Palms touch, little back bend if you want it. And then exhale, dive all the way back down, forward fold, Uttanasana, let it go. In breath, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or hop or play. whatever movement carries you towards down dog in a way that feels really good and really intentional for your body. We'll take one more round, either with me or at your own pace. On your exhale, feet land to the top of the mat, find your fold. In breath, half lift. Open mouth, exhale, let something go. Inhale, rise. Come all the way through standing, palms touch, glutes engage, open heart. Exhale, we dive. Find your forward fold, Uttanasana, let it go. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine. Once more, on your exhale, we fold, plant hands, step, hop, play. Maybe you make something up, maybe it doesn't look like a yoga pose at all. We meet in our down dog. And we land here for one cycle of breath. And for this breath, I encourage you to check in with your body. These shorter 30-minute classes require us to warm up pretty quickly. So if at this point you don't feel like you're ready to move into a main sequence, then I encourage you to even pause the video and take a couple moments to work out whatever kinks in your body need to be moved through before we pick up our pace and find a little bit more challenging movements. So give yourself what you need, and then as you're ready for it, if you're ready for it, I'm super excited for this sequence today. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to go right into it. On your inhale, sweep the right toes high. Bend the knee to open the hip. Think of stacking right hip on top of left. Option to stay here, or maybe you play, reaching left hand around to hold on to the right toes. And if you've got the clasp on the foot, find a kick into the hand. This is totally optional, as is everything that I offer in this practice. Drop left hand back down if you've lifted it. On your exhale, shift forward, tap right knee to right elbow, pause, hold. In breath, kick back, three-legged. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, shift forward, pause, hold. Inhale, kick back, three-legged. On your exhale, we're gonna bend into the left knee and play with a hop into a standing split. Maybe you catch the balance in handstand for a moment, eventually landing with left toes to the top of the mat, right foot to sweep high. So finding your standing split, we're gonna stay on the fingertips. Find a halfway lift with the upper body. And then on your exhale, bend into the left knee until the right toes plant to the back of the mat just barely. And as you're ready for it, reach the fingertips forward. We're gonna play with a little bit of a funky movement here. You're so far forward that you're just on the right big toe. We're gonna straighten out through the left leg. As you lift the right knee, cactus out the elbows and pull the right knee to tap the right elbow. All right, we're holding here for a moment. We'll do this flow again so that it feels more intuitive the second time. On your exhale, you're gonna pull the right knee to the left knee and the elbows to each other, palms to touch. So you're bent into both knees. It's kind of like a one-legged chair pose. And then on your exhale, step the right toes to the back of the mat. As you twist upper body to the left, right elbow hooks to the outside of the left knee. Press elbow into knee, knee back into elbow to traction the heart open, spinning left shoulder on top of right. On your exhale, bend into the right knee. We're gonna keep the palms to touch at the heart for a moment as we spin the right toes off to the left and pivot the body open to the right. So we're in kind of a warrior two stance, but the right knee is down. Fingertips extend long in both directions. We're gonna find kind of a reverse here. So straighten out through the left leg, right hand plants underneath the right shoulder at the back of the mat. Press into the left foot. We're getting real funky today. Press into the left foot. We're gonna lift the hips. You can pull the right knee into the chest, bending a side plank on the right side. And then adding a little bit of core into it, drop the right hip to tap the floor, and then lift back up. Couple more times. Exhale, tap right hip to the mat, and then lift. Last one, tap the right hip. Lift back up. We're gonna circle the left hand down, shift to the ball of the left foot. Right knee is still into the chest. We're now facing the back of the mat. And then pivot the right knee all the way open until the right toes drop behind you. Find your wild thing. Right fingertips reach. Hips and heart press high. Roll the right shoulder onto the back. Take the right hand into a fist and roll out the wrist for a moment. Maybe switch direction of the circles. In breath, circle back, find your high plank, wrists under shoulders. Maybe you move through a vinyasa, or maybe you simply send the hips back. We're working toward the down dog, and we are now facing the back of the mat. Totally cool if I moved you away from being able to see your computer screen. The cool thing about this practice is that if you ever don't know where we're going, you can make something up by listening to what it is that your body wants. All right, on your inhale, sweep the left toes high. Bend the knee, open the hips, think of pointing left knee towards ceiling. You can totally hang right here, or you could start to reach right hand around, working towards finding that clasp on the left foot. Really press floor away from you with left hand, so you're staying stable and engaged in the left shoulder. Maybe a little bit of a kick, left foot into the right hand. And then dropping the right hand back down, shift forward, exhale, left knee, left elbow, pause and hold. In breath, kick back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, forward, left knee, right elbow, pause and hold. In breath, kick back, three-legged. Bend into the right knee. Again, you have the option of catching balance in handstand or just hopping straight to the top of the mat until you land in your standing split with right toes down and left toes high. Once you're there, we're gonna stay planted into the fingertips. On an in-breath, find your halfway lift with upper body. On the exhale, you're gonna bend into the right knee until the left, just the left big toe taps the mat. Reach the fingertips forward. We're in a kind of a squatted shape in the right leg. Literally just left big toe is to the floor. And then on your exhale, you're gonna cactus out the arms. Bring the left knee to the left elbow. So left hip is open. All right, on your exhale here, we're gonna bring the knees together and the palms together. Keep the left knee and left elbow to touch the entire time. Deep bend in both knees. You're in the squatted chair pose, Shiva shape, I don't know what it is. Take a big in-breath here. On your exhale, left toes to the back of the mat as you twist upper body to the right. Left elbow hooks to the outside of the right knee. Press elbow into knee, press knee back into elbow to twist the heart open. Spin the right shoulder open. And then on your exhale, we're gonna drop the left knee down to the mat. We're pivoting upper body to the left as we spin left toes to the left as well. So right toes stay pointed forward. Left knee is underneath left hip. And start just by sinking into the shape, getting some opening in the right hip for a moment. I think this one feels real good. Nice little moment to breathe. On your in-breath, we're gonna find a reverse. Straighten out through the right leg as you plant left hand underneath left shoulder. Reach right hand towards the top of the mat, so getting a nice little side body stretch. And then really engaging into the right foot. We're gonna pull the left knee into the chest. So lift the left knee from the mat. And on your exhale, drop the left hip to tap the floor. In breath back up, couple more. Tap down. Inhale to lift. Let's go two more. Exhale, tap. In breath back up. Last one. Exhale, tap. In breath to kick or lift back up. Circle the right hand down. Kick the left toes all the way behind you, opening up to your wild thing. So left toes to the mat, heart spins open. Gaze is on the left fingertips. Maybe you take the left hand into a fist, roll out the wrist, let that feel good. In breath, center, find your high plank. Connect to the shape, meet the shape before you move through it. Once you've found breath, maybe it's a vinyasa, or maybe you go straight back, landing in your downward facing Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're gonna go right into that flow again on the other side. Actually, before we do, walk the hands to the back of the mat. We will do that flow again and we'll add on some optional more movements. Interlace all 10 fingers, roll out the wrists. We're gonna give our wrists a break for a moment before we move through it again. Switch direction of the circles. This is a really great point in practice to check in with your body, especially because more or less you know where we're going. Check in with what you need, what modifications you might need, places you might be able to take the practice deeper or more expansive than even what I've offered. Go with what feels good. We're gonna, before we shift back into our down dog, take a bend into the knees, bring palms under the feet, toes come to the wrist creases. If you're feeling super strong right now, you could be in handstand instead. If you're folded forward with me, elbows pull to the outsides of the mat, heart tractions towards thighs, drop the head. Take a big inhale. With gratitude for body, exhale through the mouth. From a place of gratitude for body. I'm really excited to do that sequence again. If you're with me, release the hands from underneath the feet. Walk yourself forward until you've landed in your down dog, and then just for the fun of it, on your exhale, ripple forward, high plank. Bend into the knees drop under the hips, round through the back body. As much as you can, activate the shape, back of the heart presses open. Heart pulls towards the thighs as you lift the knees to a hover, press floor away. And then as you straighten out the legs, pull the heart through, find this upward dog shape. Shoulders onto back body, heart threads through. On your exhale, hips come up and back. Downward facing. All right, let's move. Inhale, sweep right toes high, bend the knee open, hip option if you want it, to reach left hand around, hold onto the right toes, or even just come up onto the left fingertips. We're gonna move a little bit quicker through this sequence this time, but do what you need. Drop left hand back to the mat. On your exhale, shift forward, right knee, right elbow. Option, I'm gonna make it a little more fiery. Option as you kick the right leg back to drop the forearms to the floor, finding three-legged dolphin. Or keep elbows lifted, three-legged down dog. Peel elbows back up as you shift forward, right knee, left elbow. Pause, hold. In breath, kick back, either three-legged down dog or tap the forearms to the floor, three-legged dolphin. On your exhale, lift the elbows. We're gonna bend into the left knee, and then maybe you catch the balance in a handstand for a moment or find some other shape. This is clearly my bad side. Left toes to the top of the mat, right foot sweeps high. You're up on the fingertips here. On your exhale, bend into the left knee until the right toes, right big toe only, taps to the back of the mat. Arms extend forward, core is super strong. You're so far forward that the right toe is not helping you balance on the floor. On your exhale, cactus out the elbows, pull the right knee to the right elbow, pause, hold it. This time we're gonna add a little bit on. Kick back, warrior three, right leg extends, fingertips reach forward. Two more times. Exhale, bend into the elbows, shoulders pull to the back body, right knee taps right elbow. In breath, kick back, Virabhadrasana 3. Last one, exhale, right knee comes all the way to the right elbow, shoulders onto the back body. We bend into the left knee, pull knees together, pull palms together, inner thighs squeeze together, right heel squeezes into the glutes, big in breath. On your exhale, as the right toes step back, the right elbow hooks to the outside of the left knee and you're peeling the heart open. This time, see if you can hover the right elbow off of the left knee just an inch. So you're using the strength of the core to find the twist. And then soften the right knee down. In breath, we're gonna unravel the twist. Heart spins to the right as right toes drop off behind you. Fingertips extend long. Reach through the hands like you're finding a warrior two shape. And then straighten out the left leg. Right hand plants underneath right shoulder. Spin the left fingertips to the front of the mat. And then right knee pulls up into the chest. Drop the right hip down to tap. And then to lift. Two more right hip taps. And press back up. Last one. Right hip to tap. Remember, we're circling as we lift, circling left hand down, pivot right knee to point up towards ceiling, rotate right toes all the way behind you, lift the hips, open the heart, roll out the right wrist. Switch direction of the circles. In breath, high plank, move through center, wrist under shoulders, press floor away. Maybe a vinyasa, or maybe you send the hips straight back, moving into your down dog, where we get to play with that sequence. One more time, last side, before we settle and move towards the end of the practice. On your inhale, sweep the left toes high, bend the knee, open hip. You can hang here, or you could reach right hand around to hold on to the left toes, find a kick into the hand, knowing that if you fall out of this shape and have to come back in, that is totally okay. That's part of the practice. You're probably not going to find it without falling a couple times at first. Drop the right hand back down, shift forward, left knee, left elbow, pause, hold. As you kick the left leg back, option to bring the forearms to the floor, pull the heart back, three-legged dolphin. Exhale, shift forward, lift the elbows, left knee across body to the right elbow. In breath, kick back, either three-legged down dog or forearms to the floor, three-legged dolphin. Press into finger pads, knuckle pads. If you've dropped forearms to the floor, we're just gonna lift into our three-legged down dog. Bend into the right knee. Option to play with a kick up to catch balance in the handstand. And then eventually, we land in our standing split. Right toes to the top of the mat, left foot is high. Fingertips to the floor. As you exhale, bend into the right knee. Left big toe is the only thing to touch the mat. Fingertips reach forward, strong through the center line of you, the core of you. On your exhale, straighten out through the right leg, bend into the elbows, cactusing the mountain, pull the left knee to the left elbow. Spine is parallel to the floor. In breath, kick back, warrior three. Left leg is long, fingertips reach long. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Shoulders are active here. You're pulling shoulder blades down the back body, left knee to left elbow. Last one, in breath, kick back, left leg long, square left hip down to the mat, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, cactus out the elbows, left knee maybe comes all the way to touch left elbow, and then on your exhale, we bring it all in, palms to touch, knees to touch, inner thighs to touch, squeeze the left heel into the left glutes. On your exhale, left toe step back as you twist upper body to the right. So left elbow to the outside of the right knee, maybe hovering the knee off of the elbow just an inch, hovering the elbow off of the knee just an inch to find the twist, but use the strength of the core to do so. In breath, soften left knee to the floor. Exhale, release the twist. We're pivoting all the way open to the left as the left toes spin behind, palms stay to touch at the heart. Right toes are forward, reach the fingertips long, like you're trying to pull the shoulder blades apart from each other now on the back body. And then as if you're going into a reverse warrior, straighten out right leg, left hand underneath left shoulder, right fingertips towards top of the mat. We're gonna press into the outside edge of right foot, pull the left knee into the chest, and then tap the left hip to the floor. And then lift, exhale to lower. In breath to lift, last one, exhale, lower down. As we lift back up, we're circling right hand to the mat, pivot all the way open, slow down the transition, finding control to drop left toes behind the back. Hips press high, heart presses high, roll out the left wrist. Switch direction of the circles. In breath, center, high plank. Wrists under shoulders, meet the shape, take a big inhale. On your exhale, maybe a vinyasa, or maybe the hips go straight back, meeting in our down dog. And it is already time to start slowing things down. These classes go so fast. Big in breath. Open mouth exhale, let something move through. Soften the knees to the floor, keep the toes tucked. Sit back on the heels. Interlace all 10 fingers, roll out the wrist. In a practice where we're on our hands and our wrists a lot, we need to make sure we are caring for our wrist health. Switch direction of the circles, which comes in the form of both flexibility and strength. Strengthen the muscles in the forearms and in the hands. We're also sneaky stretching the bottom of the feet right now. Come back through center, cross over ankles. Extend the legs long, just one seated stretch. Kind of our only hammy opener today. Hamstrings other than, I guess, standing split. In breath, sweep arms up overhead. Lift up and out. And then on your exhale, we fold. Hands can land anywhere along legs, feet, floor, wherever they happen to land. And then once you found your stretch, drop the head. I like to think of this shape as kind of lighting up, illuminating the cells down the entire backside of my body. So as you drop the head, you're stretching the back of the neck and the base of the skull. And as we fold forward, we're stretching all the way down the back into the low back. And then definitely the hamstrings, the back of the thighs. And then as you pull the toes back towards the face, you're stretching out the calves and Achilles tendons and all the way into the back of the heel. So really illuminating the backside of the whole body here. Final exhale to sink a little deeper into the shape. And then an in-breath to come up. On your exhale, one vertebrae at a time, use that strength in the core to roll all the way down until you land on the back body. Bring your hands somewhere on the physical body, so on the belly, on the heart. Maybe you tap into some sort of expression of you. That could be the heartbeat, it could be the breath of the lungs. You might imagine the blood moving through your veins. So crazy to think that that's happening all day long, every day. Pull the right knee into the chest. Right thigh hugs into the right rib cage. Back of the left thigh presses down to the floor. Drop the right arm out, cactus or T, and then use your exhale to find the twist. Guiding the right knee over the left side of the body. Both shoulders are engaged with the mat here. Maybe you drop the gaze over to the right hand. Inhale to come back through center, and we will swap it out. Left knee pulls in, right leg extends long. Left thigh squeezes into the left rib cage. Back of the right thigh presses down. Drop the left arm out, cactus or T. Exhale, twist. And left knee across right side of the body, both shoulders touching floor. Maybe gaze over to the left hand. Inhale, back through center. We're moving down pretty quickly. Take both knees into the chest so you can lift the shoulders, clasp opposite elbows, squeeze both thighs into the ribs. Big in-breath here. On your exhale, let's release all the way into Shavasana. If there are any last shapes, poses, wiggles, movements that you would like on the way down, feel free. This is your practice. Let it feel like your practice. Let it express as a confidence to move in your own body as you, in whatever way you need now. And once you've landed in Shavasana, allow a closing of the eyes, which I always explain as this flip of the gaze inward. This attuning to what is going on right here, which we can use as information to make our whole lives a little bit better. I'm going to give us this last moment in silence, but noticing what you might need as you finish up your practice on the mat and move into your practice off of the mat into whatever comes next. I invite you, if you have the time and the space, to stay in your Shavasana a bit longer and to linger here in the stillness, that you do so. If you're ready to transition back out, before you move, invite in a deep breath. And exhale back out. Noticing that cyclical, repetitive pattern. Breathing in what is new and exhaling out something that no longer serves, which happens all day, every day, all night, every night. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, circle out wrists, circle out ankles. Extend arms up overhead. Keep the eyes closed as we make this transition back up. So it doesn't have to look like any particular way. You might pull knees into the chest. You might roll onto the side. No right or wrong here, but the idea and the hope as we take this slow transition is that you can stay with you. So we're not jolting ourselves back out. We're not rushing back out into whatever comes next, but we're taking this inward gaze, this stillness, this presence with us as we go. Hands could meet at heart, or they can rest wherever they rest. I thank you so much for moving with me, for being a part of this YouTube community that has created so many opportunities and given me a space to do what I love. I have endless gratitude. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. I will be back sooner than the last time, I promise. And let me know what types of videos you'd like to see next. If you haven't followed me on Instagram yet, that's a great place to connect with me. Nicole Collective is my Instagram handle. And I do lots of Q&As and chats and info and flows and fun things over there too. See you soon.